Hi, Brian and Fraser. I just thought I'd show you Google Tag Manager just for your question how easy it is. I don't like to make things too easy because that makes me redundant, but I guess I am redundant. Anyway, here it is, Google Tag Manager. We should all have access to it. If you don't, let me know. It's just the AdWords and or Google Analytics login details. That's Fraser's account. So essentially just sign in. Better put that in again. Dropper, Touring. So there's currently one account. Sorry if you can't see that. There's one account, Metropolis Touring. So you probably set up different accounts if you had different websites using, your same login. And then there's a container, essentially the container. So we'll just go into that one container, and the container is related to the code that you've got on the page. So it'll be specific to each container. So we just go in here, and what you're seeing here is some tabs. These are the name of the tags that we've named, sort of the types, because there are certain predefined names that Google uses, and then the rules which you can create that defines how they fire. So I'll just go through the logic with, say, the remarketing for Facebook. So essentially, we've got two here now firing. We've put the different codes in, and they fire on all pages. So with the actual Facebook custom remarketing, my logic is we just get this through the tag manager to fire on all pages. That way, it's happening everywhere. I was going to say to you, if you had a massive website where you don't want to really have things firing all the time and slowing down browsers, etc., even though this is, I think it's a, what do you call it, asymmetric firing, so it shouldn't slow down the browser. But anyway, some sites don't like to have code firing when you don't need it. You could actually say, okay, I only want to fire on certain areas of the site. That might just slow things down. But since it's a small site, in this case, it doesn't really matter in my mind. And then the logic is have it fire on all pages, and then via Facebook itself, when they do remarketing, Fraser, whoever does it, just simply says, okay, of that remarketing tag, I only want to build a custom audience based on a predefined page visitation. So it might be look for only URL with Ron Moss, or only look for URL with Village People. And whilst it's always firing on all pages at the moment via the tag manager here, you're only then populating that custom audience based on the Facebook definition, if that makes sense. So Fraser will go, here I want to remarket audience for Village People. Whilst it's always firing the pixel on all pages, it's only going to collect into that Facebook custom definition of it based on when it sees it's come from a certain URL, being, say, the Village People one or the Ron Moss one. So that's how that works. So if we were to add one, it's this simple. Just go to new here, adding a tag. We'll just give it a name. Now there's some predefined types, so these work with a lot of the marketing software out there with their own conversion pixels. There's sort of a default one here. You can use image tags or HTML tags. I typically use this when I don't know if it doesn't fit something that's already predefined. And essentially we're just dropping in that code you supplied. So, check my horoscopes. Drop that in. And essentially you can either save this and add the rules later, but I just add the firing rules here. So add, and you can define these at any point. But in this case, I already know there's an all pages one, so I just check that. I'm just using a regex expression just to say dot star means, I guess, everything. I'm not a great regex writer, but I can sort of work it out. You just save that. So what it's saying is that tag will fire based on all pages. So all pages of Metropolis Touring, or wherever that tag code is placed, which is everywhere, it should fire it. So that's essentially it. We save it. Now, before it actually goes live, you can create a version. So you can create new versions of the container draft. So then you can actually then do like a debugging, go in the site, and I believe you can then visit different areas and it should show what's firing. So you need to create a version and then you publish it. So that means it goes live at that point. And that's essentially it. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.